Hi, Salonzo, ABT Productions. I want to do a quick video just to remind you and myself as well to just remember who you are. Remember what you want. Just, there's so many things in life that will get you off track. I mean, you start out wanting to do something and it's very simple, not really complex, and very clear. And yet, longer you're at it, the more complex, confusing, off-putting it gets to be, to the point where it almost seems like you have amnesia. Really, it's like the mind can only handle so much, or, you can only do so many things at one time. And if you get so full with so many other things, you won't remember, or your focus will be off of that one or two things that you set out to do that are really clear. And it's funny because as an artist, like, you just have to draw. You have to keep recreating or whatever, you just keep at it. But at some point, you have so many things that are happening around you that it just starts to fade. You just like, it gets farther. And like maybe how they say out of sight, out of mind. Also, there's people who will tell you who you are, try to define you, uh, try to classify you, or even lie on you and say that you're this when you're not. And there's no evidence, there's no proof, or they might conjure or create proof or mislead, and in order to get other people to believe that you're something that you're not. That's why I wanted to say this. Remember who you are. Who you always were is always there. And you will be as long as you want to be. Now, you have the right. Only you have the decision-making power. You have the authority in the situation of who you are. Who you are. You don't, it takes me back, and I said something. People say, what do you think you are? You can say, I'm me. That's it. If they got something else to say after that, just ignore it. But I'm just saying, I thought about how the Lord will say, I am who I am. That's like saying, I'm me. Like, there's no question about that. I am who I am. You know, that's who you are. You are who you are. Nobody else gets to tell you that. Nobody else created you. God created you. And you got to know who you are. All you have to do is be you. You know, I just wanted to say that, kind of just, I had a good, interesting conversation and with a woman who was around my age, and she's a very brilliant woman. She's a lead person at the job. And she says, I know who I am 100%. And she asked me, do you know who you are? And it's so funny because, like I say, people try to define you and tell you who you are. They'll even tell you, even if you can't remember who you are, remember what you want. Because people will tell you what you want. Well, you want this. and you don't want it. If you don't want something, don't take it. As my mama used to say, you don't like it, don't take it. Do the Alabama shake it. God bless her. Rest her soul in peace. Well, that's it. I wanted to say that if you, at least if you don't remember who you are, remember what you want. Every good story is people interacting with what they want. Some people want to tell you what you want because they want you to want what they want, or they want what you want. As George Clinton would say, mind your wants because someone wants your mind. Anyway, uh, just, remember who you are. And it doesn't really, that's not something you really have to explain to anybody else. It don't have to like be redefined. And I go back to again the comment, "I am who I am." What God said that, you know, and Jesus broke it down in a different way. He says, "Well, look at the things around you. That's going to tell you who you are. You could tell a tree by the fruit. An apple tree ain't gonna produce pears. A pear tree ain't gonna produce whatever grows. Oranges. Oranges grows on trees. I don't know. Or strawberries or cherries or whatever. So, you know, um, you know, you don't have to explain to anybody who you are. All you have to do is be, and the evidence and the proof. Some people, that's why what they mean by character, because some people lie on you, but they're the one doing all the dirt, all the trickery. Where when they check your record, it's nothing that says you did this. Nothing says you. But if he were that, he wouldn't do this. That's when other people can testify to your character, and they'll lie about you, and they'll be like, "No, not him." You know, that's not what the evidence says. That's not what I've seen. So, you know, be you, do you. Remember who you are, and in the face of other people trying to tell you to do it, it's just not even negotiable. It's not something you have to explain. It's not anything, you know. It's funny because people judge you, and like I do art, and they'll say, "You did that?" They don't even believe that I did it because they have their own belief of where they think I am, when I might be doing something way over here, you know. Let's see. Here we go. I do little sketches. I've gotten into these Coptic markers and I never use them. I just love them. And I'm trying to get more. And I just have a lot of fun, and I'm studying, shape design and stuff like that. Something that I tried to get for a long time, and just having a blast with it. Just doing it, and I do them on these little small pieces of paper. But anyway, I haven't talked to you guys in a while. I'm still here. I'll explain what's going on with this incognito. Like I said, Facebook, Oculus, fried my account. And then I lost my phone, so I had no contacts. But I'm starting to figure out ways of how I can get back in contact with people. So I do appreciate you all. I love you all. I think about people, and I think about how good they really are. And I would talk more about that and do more videos just talking. I for a long time I just did artwork and only showing artwork, but uh, I noticed some people appreciate me getting on camera. Okay, 10 minutes. Love you all. Bye now. God bless.